Time now for players to look out for, sponsored by DraftKings. Play for free with over $1 million in prizes. Dak Prescott will have a lot more on his shoulders on Sunday because he will be without his running back Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke's emergency injunction was denied yesterday, so his suspension is now underway. The Cowboys have won 3 straight, and they head to Atlanta, which has lost 4 of their last 5. We're joined once again by Mike Shanahan. Mike, who wins this game?
Falcons win. Alfred Morris is going to play extremely well, though. They're not going to skip a beat with Alfred Morris.
By the way, you had him his first 2.
Totally a team player. Got a lot of ability. He's exactly the guy that you want backing up Zeke because he's special.
Because of what?
He's got everything. He'll pass protect. He'll be able to make people miss. He'll get that 10, 15-yard gain. He's not going to go 80, but he's going to keep you in the game the whole time.
And how well did he do?
He's going to keep you in the game the whole time.
And how well did he do with RG3 running the read option?
Well, he was perfect. He was perfect for that because not only could he make that cut and make people miss, but Robert had the speed to complement it. So when you have that and you have a great play-action game, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
But Atlanta will win because they need to?
I think Atlanta will win because, number one, I think they're a heck of a football team on both sides of the ball. And they haven't played as well as they have the last, 3 or 4 weeks. And they know this is their season. They're going to have to play their best game on offense. And I think with Matt Ryan, the type of player he is, and with the supporting cast, they can move the ball on anybody. And I think this will be one of his better games.
How much have they missed your son Kyle calling those plays?
Well, I think you always miss running the system. It takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm sure Zach, though, is getting more comfortable each week. And you see them getting better each week. They just got to find a way to play their best game, not turn the football over.
How difficult is it for you to come in? And I know because when you went to San Francisco, they had the West Coast system. You learned that system. So, but how difficult is it to run a system that is not your own?
I was so lucky. When I went to San Francisco, I went back for 8 years and looked at every meeting that they had. So it was so easy for me because I knew what they wanted to do because Bill Walsh was kind of ahead of his time. He filmed everything.
Right.
So he had a philosophy what he wanted to do in the running game and the passing game. You could change things up with formations and that, which we did, which was a little different than things they had done in the past. But at the end of the day, the players knew that they're going to run the exact same offense, had the same philosophy, so it's pretty easy.
Well, what about calling plays, though?
Well, for me, it was pretty easy because I could look what was done.
But does Sark have that luxury? Did they film in Atlanta?
No.
So he doesn't have the luxury that you had going
exactly
in.
Right.
How hard was it for you as Kyle's father to watch the second half of that Super Bowl?
Well, you've been there before, so you know how tough it is, and every decision you make is
scrutinized.
Well, not only looked at, but you either win or you lose. But at the end of the day, they did some great things on offense, moving the football. But at the end of you either do it or you don't at the end, and so you got to live with it.
You know what, Mike? I look at the situation with Atlanta in the Super Bowl kind of like us in the divisional game against Jacksonville. And, that hurt. That's still the most painful loss of all the losses I've suffered because I knew we were a better team than Jacksonville.
It was at Denver.
At Denver.
Mark Brunell?
Mark Brunell.
Yeah.
What was the score? Do you remember?
30-27.
Exactly right. He knows exactly.
Yeah.
And we ran the ball 17 times, and I blame it completely on me at that time because he got so caught up in a game plan. We did good statistically throwing the ball, but we got away from our toughness, and that's the thing that had made us, the next 2 years that we were going to run the ball or try to at least half the time, and we needed to do that with the players that we did have.
So, as you're watching, were you hoping that Kyle would call more runs to milk the clock?
Well, what people don't really understand is that they ran the ball 8 times in the first half and 9 times in the second half, and when you take a look, a lot of people scrutinize the play when they had the fumble, That was, to me, it was 3rd down 1.5 yards, and all of a sudden they have a miss of pass protection. They're doubling Julio, and all of a sudden Aldrick Robinson.
It's wide open.
He's 5 yards open. The quarterback just takes a 3-step drop, and he's ready to throw it. He's got the guy isolated, and that's the difference in winning and losing. Now you can go back to the 2nd and 12, 13 play where they have the back run the flat, and outside linebacker comes off, and you have a sack there. And then the next one you have a 12-yard gain, and then all of a sudden Sanu gets tackled on the sideline. Before you know it, with the holding call, it's 3rd down and you're out of field goal range. So, yeah, you go back and you live through those things, but you have to because presented in another situation, you got to go back and say, okay, this is what I would do, or this is what I would do differently. But you got to be tough on yourself.
So this man and I have a huge disagreement over the current Dallas Cowboy quarterback. What do you see so far in young Dak Prescott?
I really like him. I think he's very talented. I think he's got an excellent offensive line. But the guy can make plays with his feet. Not only does he have the ability to throw the ball anywhere he wants to, he's got some time to throw it. And when he's got a good play-action game and you've got a quarterback that has that type of ability, I think he's going to keep on getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
I like Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Don't you like Carson Wentz?
I love Carson, yeah.
You say, I like that. I love Carson.
Oh, really?
I'm just saying.
Is that what Coach Shanahan believes?
I'm just repeating what he said.
I think he said that the career path might be a little higher for Dak Prescott.
That ain't what he said. Pennsylvania, once a once in a lifetime type.
I mean, Mike is still here.
Mike, what do you think?
I tell you right now, I think both of them are the same type guy, that type of ability, Dak and Carson. I think Carson is going to get better and better, too, as he keeps on playing. You can see he kind of struggles a little bit with some of the drop-back plays. Where Dak right now, he looks like the guy that's been playing for a couple of years. He's playing with a lot of confidence and, in my opinion, a little bit better offensive line.
How much difference is the run game that Dak has been blessed with his first 25 games as opposed to what Carson's had to deal with?
Big difference, yeah. And that's what really separates not only the quarterbacks, but a great defense as well.
Right.
And you take a look at Russell Wilson, you take a look at his stats. So he hasn't had to play from behind a whole lot. I mean, I love Russell Wilson, what he can do. But it's a big difference when that defense is playing pretty consistently. And a guy like Kirk Cousins, you know, he hasn't been playing with that great defense.
Right.
But all of a sudden, once you do as a quarterback, you don't have to take as many chances.
He's going to get paid, though. He's going to go to a great defense. Might be in Denver next year.
Well, I don't know. There's still some speculation that he could still wind up with your son in San Francisco.
Yeah, you never know in our crazy business.
Never know.
Yeah.
And you loved Kirk Cousins in that draft. You obviously think you were sort of forced to move up to take RG3. We're going to talk about him next segment.
I actually liked RG3. Yeah. It was just what we gave up for him.
It was a lot.
That was
a lot. But you loved Kirk Cousins. I can't remember. Did you get him in the fourth?
Yeah, fourth round.
Fourth round?
Yeah.
And what do you think of his career path?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, because when a person has that type of mindset that he has, that he's a guy that is very accurate with the ball, and he can make any throw. And he processes things quicker than anybody I've ever been around. I've been around some good ones. But he has the ability to go from A, B, C to D as quick as I've seen. And not many quarterbacks can do that.
So would he, in your mind, be worth whatever $100 million guaranteed?
I think that's what he's going to get. Yeah.
And would you pay him that if it were your call?
There's no question of mine.
Of course. I keep telling you.
He drafted him.
Mine's thinking like I've been around Mike long enough to know what he wants in a quarterback. And if a guy can make the throws, see, Washington keeps betting against themselves that he's gonna falter. But he doesn't have a number one receiver. Jordan Reed is inning out of the lineup. He went to Seattle, missing 4 offensive linemen, starters, and beat that team in that building. Tom Brady hadn't done it. Roethlisberger hadn't done it.
Tony Romo did it. Carson Palmer.
Oh, stop it.
Well, I'm just saying. And by the way, Kirk Cousins is now 1-5 against the arch-rival Dallas Cowboys. That is not good.
No? He's had worse teams. But that's about to change. Change is going to come.
I tell you, if you take a look at that Seattle game against Washington, and you take a look at play 23, 28, 63, and 64, just those 4 plays.
You know what? I know the one you're talking about. When he stared down the barrel of that defensive lineman, hit him right up on his chin.
Yeah.
And he stood in there and he delivered the ball on the over route.
Yeah. Play 23, he fakes the running back. He's looking at the back in the flat. He knows where he's going with the ball, with the tight end.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets the guy in his face. And then all of a sudden he can throw that fade. And all of a sudden he's thrown away from the best safety on the field, maybe the best safety in the NFL. He knows where to put the ball and do it in clutch situation.
What was it, the last one was to Doxton, the deep ball.
Yeah, the last one. But he saw bump coverage. They gave him an opportunity to make a big play. You know, he's not going to miss that one. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that guy you just brought up, RG3. Is Mike surprised RG3 is out of the NFL? We'll ask him next.